Hey, this is Mikey Demus from Skindred, and you're watching Loudwire. I think the first riff that made me want to pick up a guitar was probably something by Chuck Berry. I'd seen, Marty McFly kicking an amp over on stage on Back to the Future and thought it was the coolest thing at the time. I remember seeing in that Hail Hail Rock and Roll film, like him and Keith Richards fighting over how to play Carol, I think. And that's like... good stuff. Other things that got me really inspired at the time were like really complicated things like Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. That's something I really wanted to have a crack at, and obviously rather than learning scales and learning fundamentals, I was like, I just want to figure out how to play the complicated thing that's a bit beyond me. So I always hashed my way through that. I never clocked that either. I just bluffed my way through it. I think when you got closer, it was like, actually, this is someone else's, and I don't want to be Jimi Hendrix. I want to be me, and I got to figure out who I am. And that was probably the biggest hurdle learning to play, was finding yourself in amongst all these different influence. Coming up in the 90s, and there was so much amazing alternative guitar music happening, especially in the USA. We had stuff happening in the UK too. We had like Britpop and all that sort of thing. I was a big Blur fan. I think it's just because I was from the south, and if you were from up north, you were an Oasis fan. If you're from the south, you were a Blur fan. I don't know, but I loved Graham Coxon's playing, and loved Telecasters. He's one of the people who made me want to pick up a Telecaster and play guitar. And then, of course, in the USA, you had all this amazing music coming over from the US. Had Soundgarden, Nirvana, Rage Against the Machine. I discovered like Metallica, that kind of thing. Red Hot Chili Peppers as well. All that sort of stuff in the 90s was huge. I think the first riff I properly learned to play though was like the classic first riff, which was Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple. And again, I think I sort of figured it out on one string, like I've got it. Figured it out, that's what it is. And then you realise that it's actually it doesn't sound the same without the bass line. It doesn't sound the same without the bass line. It doesn't sound the same without the hi-hats. Something I really struggled with when I was learning was developing like solid rhythm, like with a strumming hand. So with my left hand, I really found that just playing a good rhythm, like strumming on acoustic, was quite a hard thing. I learnt a bit on my dad's guitar. He had like a Les Paul copy that I learnt on, and then when I showed some aptitude or for wanting to play, he was like, right, I'm going to get you an acoustic guitar. Just trying to get that, like, I'd learnt chords, I'd learnt like all the major chords and learnt all the minor chords and all the first position chords, but I think the goal was just to be able to play a song, and learning that rhythm, just this hand felt really stiff, and I remember just having to have a word with this hand going, come on, you are messing up, you are messing with the program here. Just learning that rhythm, forcing it to happen, was something which opened up my playing massively. I think a real turning point for me was when a friend of mine taught me about drop tuning, like dropping it down to D. I was like, what is this? It was a total game changer. Totally changed the way I play, and I don't think I've really tuned up since. One of the first down tune things I learned was like Rage Against the Machine, like yeah, I mean, that song had the words "fuck you, I won't do what you tell me" in it, which at the time is just the most badass thing you've ever heard. And yeah, I remember that band leaving a big mark on me. And just the riffs were so cool, Yeah, I was a massive Nirvana fan, still am. one of the coolest things I think they ever did was go. Still think that's one of the coolest riffs ever. I never really moved on from the drop down thing. If memory serves, I think the first riff I ever wrote for Skindred it turned into a song called SDW, which is Silence Don't Work, and I think it went something like, I think it was something like that, with a big. One of the first songs we did together was Start First, which was like this metal-y gallop kind of riff, like. And it had this cool, like, what was it? With this wicked, skronky, horrible sounding effect on it. One of my favourite Skindred riffs to play is probably Rat Race. It's really frantic. It's really hard to pick up after like not playing for a long time. So I imagine when we come to get back on a stage, that was going to be one of the harder things to play, and that's. That's a tough one. That's going to be a real shredder on the old tendons when we get back together. Another one I really like playing is Trouble. That's a fun riff. Love doing that one. Really like playing Warning as well. That's one of the songs we did on Union Black. Really like the middle eight riff, the Newport helicopter riff, when everyone goes crazy and swings their t-shirt around their head. There's a cool riff that goes. My favourite riffs off the last Skindred record are probably some of the more simple ones. Benji gave me this task of like, I want you to write a riff which is so simple that a kid just learning to play could learn to play it, and it really got me thinking. And Big Things is pretty much like that. It's just. Super easy. That's My Jam as well as another easy one. That's that kind of like detuned, almost like Helmet kind of riff where it was. Just wanted to make it a really rhythmic riff, something that you could put a cool beat to, and yeah, for me, like, a riff doesn't have to be super complicated to be cool or awesome. A lot of the time taking stuff away gives it way more space and makes it groovier, makes it funkier, makes it like more percussive, picture a crowd like jumping up and down to it is the kind of approach I like to think about writing a riff.